Welcome to the Corona Post Show here on Finals Day. We found our winners and we've still got to break down everything that unfolded here on Finals Day. Tatiana Weston-Webb and Felipe Toledo celebrate deserving wins. Tatiana really did perform right throughout the contest in the bigger conditions. She was solid, turned up today and took on some very heavy rivals to earn the victory. Felipe Toledo saving his best to last, as he typically does, and putting together a mind-blowing heat score total to get the victory. His 9th championship tour win, and he just goes leaping up that leaderboard into 3rd position. And that is huge when you start to think about the final 5 and the race to the Rip Curl WSL Finals in September, where if he's there, he's going to have a fantastic shot at a maiden world title. Ronnie Blakey joined by 2 of the greats. Rabbit is back with us, and Richie Lovett, who was with us for the call. But Bugs, a fantastic finals day, mate.
Well, it really lived up to all the expectations. But if we go all the way back to round 1, the giant day, Felipe Toledo staring it down, the death stare. And then he went out there, and everyone had been doing the carve down. John Florence, the master, Griffith Colapinto, Matthew McGillivray, Geordie Smith. He went on his first wave, went up and jammed it in the pocket. And that was what he, showed his potential. And in that final, he took it to another level.
He did. He took the round edges out of the surfing and put some real knifey turns on the board. Let's dive into a recap of that final, Rich. It was spectacular to watch.
It was amazing. It was a real blow-for-blow exchange there between Geordie and Felipe, and both competitors looking super steely, getting completely psyched as they hit the water there. And it was Geordie who actually drew first blood. And just that beautiful rail work that we were talking about, Bugs, as you mentioned, doing that beautiful carve down. John-esque of all these guys, the top guys, they've got it on lock, don't they? All that power, all the precision. Geordie finishing well. And for a minute there, you kind of wondered, is Felipe going to get back into this? And, well, he certainly did with waves like this, just attacking each section. And just that little bit of extra spice and energy and the extra little bit of whip out of each turn. And for me, it's those really, really sharp direction changes that he was able to bring. And that was the point of difference there, letting the emotions fly.
This is the wave, though, that made all the difference, guys. It wasn't even one of the bigger ones, but every turn he did on this wave was unbelievable. And this is the one, Richie, you just cut loose on this when he did this turn, that little extra bowl that came his way.
He set the precedent early in his career too, making finals and doing that kind of full throttle surfing, Toledo, and now it's just the norm for him. He's comfortable surfing at 110%, Rich, and that was the best heat he put together in the contest at the perfect time.
By far, just peaking at the perfect moment. And I think Felipe would even say himself, he's not putting in his best performances through the opening rounds, but he did enough. He tackled the big stuff, and then he adjusted when the swell came down. But in that final, he was just on attack mode from word go.
Bugs, it's really interesting thinking about these guys who really do have that high-risk approach to their finals. When we think about what we saw from Medina at Narrabeen, from Italo up at Newcastle, and even John Florence at the Pipe Masters. The rest of the field has work to do when they get to this end of the bracket. They have to unleash themselves and really throw their best foot forward and do their best, most high-risk surfing if they're going to start wrestling wins away from these guys.
Yeah, well, look at the Australian leg. It was an all-Brazilian final between number 1 and 2 at Newcastle. Then Medina went to a whole nother level at Narrabeen. And then Felipe Toledo here, he peaked in the final. Geordie Smith started with an 8. He backed up with a 6.63. He was looking like on song, and Felipe Toledo kind of blew him out of the water.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Tatiana Weston-Webb, she put up an excellent number early on against Stephanie Gilmore, really putting the pressure on the 7-time world champ. Let's dive into the Harvey Norman recap and see what else unfolded there. But Tatiana, really solid, Rich, at a location like this. Back-to-back, 2 fantastic events for her.
Absolutely. Well, for me, Tatiana was probably the in-form goofy footer on the women's side of the draw here. And she was just getting a little bit more vertical. Turns like that on massive sections. And we saw her attacking some of the biggest waves of this whole event. and really just digging in, you know, not looking tentative at all. A lot of the women were a bit tentative on that final section. Tati was just in attack mode.
And you know what? This manoeuvre here, if she didn't pull this off, she loses this final because Steph Gilmore got an 8-1-3 right at the end. If she doesn't come through this section right here, this is unbelievable how she hung on by her toenails.
And that has really been the keys to victory at this venue this year, surviving the whitewater on that final section. Gilmore put beautiful surfing on the board on finals day 2, Rich.
Yeah, as we expect, you know, Steph just put in some amazing smooth carves. And, well, just seeing there, just attacking that final section as well. And Steph did really well to get up against Carissa Moore and get the win in the semi-final. But just an informed Tatiana Weston-Webb. Have a look at that scoreline, 16.23. And, well, she just lets the smiles just stream off her face.
Well, you know, that was her 9th final. If she was ever primed to win one, it was after making the final against Caroline, just getting pipped at Narrabeen. She was primed for the win, Ronnie.
Yeah, she'd had a number of runner-up performances in Championship Tour events. Would not be denied here, even against a 7-time world champion. I think with Steph's track record at this event, Tatiana knew she had a great chance at claiming her 2nd CT win. Really solid stuff from the surfer representing Brazil. Doing a fantastic job there, but it was a spectacular effort. That women's Final 5 is starting to look very interesting with some new names at the top end of the leaderboard. We'll be having a look at that after we get to the presentation with Joe Topel.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. Thanks for everyone being here in the West. You guys are incredible. Thanks for hosting us so well each and every year. One of our favorite stops on tour here for the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro, presented by Corona. The history of this event is incredible. It runs deep. Going back to big CT wins, Mark Occhilupo won, Tommy Carroll, big hard-charging efforts from a local legend named Melanie Redmond-Carr, who fought in the world title race for many years. Great to run into Taj Burrow, a former event champion, Jake Patterson. And let's hear for the McCaulays. Dave McCaulay, former champ out here. Bronte McCaulay showing up on finals day. It was so impressive. All adding up into the story of finding our final 5. That'll all be decided in our world title showdown later September for the Rip Curl WSL finals. Big thanks as well and a lot of respect to the Wadandi people and the Undalup crew for all of their support of this event. Thank you so much. Big thanks to our event title partner, Boost Mobile, our global partners, Corona, Red Bull, Oakley, Hydro Flask, all of our event partners as well, Tourism Western Australia, Rip Curl, Harvey Norman, Bonsoy, Dometic Outdoor, Oakberry, Bond University, Healthway, Shire of Augusta, Margaret River, and all of our local partners. Big round of applause. Thanks for making this possible. Big thanks to Surfing Western Australia, Margaret River Board Riders Club for hosting us. Let's hear it for Willow Hardy, 14 years of age, charging. She'll be on tour very soon. Also want to shout out Jacob Wilcox, representing WA, Cyrus Cox as well. He's got a big future. And of course, Jack Robinson as well, making you all very proud. Special mention and a sincere thank you to Tourism WA, the government, the WA Police Department, WA Health for all their support to really put in the efforts to ensure the World Surf League could stage these events here in WA. It all started with that charter flight into Busselton, and that was incredible to set up this great show that we had today. Thank you very much. Got some very special event trophies, if you can check those out there. The winner will receive handcrafted Kerrywood Indigenous artifacts from Western Australia from Indigenous artist Lee Taylor. Thank you, Lee. And also John Mogridge. Thank you very much. Lee Taylor, Wadandi people, and the Wajak for John. Thank you so much, you guys. Also, Jesse Miley Dyer, you impress us throughout every event that you're in charge. Thank you for all the support of our surfers and also the tour. We know it's in a good place with you at the helm. Thank you, Jesse. Andrew Stark, WSL General Manager of Asia Pacific. Starkey, I don't know if a lot of people know what you've done to get us all here. Big round of applause once again for Starkey. And Deputy Commissioner Gary Drybergs, representing WA government. Thanks for being here and hosting us so incredibly well. Let's hear it for Gary. The finals were incredible to watch today here on main break. Clean conditions, beautiful sunshine, and the stage was set for a lot of talented athletes to perform and take down the top prize. New winners this year, which is really incredible. The long list of champions. We'll see the new names put on the staircase. We can't wait to come back every year. The women's final was incredible, because anytime you get to see this woman surf, it's amazing. She's one of the greatest of all time. She's won 7 world titles, and she got to feature in her first final here in the West. Let's hear it for Stephanie Gilmore. And getting the beautiful artifacts, Lee Taylor. Handing it off, Steph Gilmore, featuring in her 48th final of her career. Steph, really amazing to watch you compete, especially through the rounds against former event winners, some of your longest rivals, from Sally to Carissa. Back against the wall, turning in the 9-5 against Sal, getting Carissa at the end. What a road you had to that final. That must feel special.
Yeah, I haven't been able to crack the semis here before, so or the quarters this year at all. So yeah, it was a great event for me, and I'm so happy to be able to perform in front of the fans and have everyone down the beach and watching the waves. It's been an amazing event, and just I'm so stoked that WSL could make it all happen. And yeah, thanks so much to everyone. Congrats to Geordie and Felipe, and of course to Taddy. That was an incredible win. So happy to be in the final with you, and yeah, on to Rottnest.
Well done to Stephanie Gilmore. And now this surfer who's been on a roll, not just on tour, but specifically at this event here at Margaret River. I'd like to introduce your champion for the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro, presented by Corona, Tatiana Weston-Webb. Tatiana getting a huge win for herself and for Brazil. So the Yandy is the bowl there. The Wunta, the shield. Tati, this is extra special for you. We meet a lot on the podium. We were talking and through quarantine about, okay, I'm tired of these runner-up finishes. And now to be here, #1, the champion of this event, how good does that feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. One more time, I just wanted to give it up for the Macaulays. I love them so much, and everyone on tour loves them. They're just such amazing people, and our hearts go out to them. And yeah, gosh, it feels so great to get a win. I'm so stoked.
Specifically at this event as well, you've been on such a roll. And even when you count the Uluwatu final, main break runner-up to Lakey, what was the difference this year to get the win?
I don't know. I kind of just wanted to surf and stay composed and show my surfing, and that's what I tried to do. I knew Steph is just the best woman surfer ever. So I was like, okay, I gotta surf good. And that's pretty much it.
Now sitting at #2 in the world, how good does that feel heading into Rottnest?
It feels amazing. What a special place to be. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys all. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, thanks for coming down and supporting us. It means a lot. And thanks WSL for putting on these events. And thanks to all the safety, the boats, and the shark mitigation protocols, and all the water safety. You guys have been amazing throughout the event. So yeah, thanks guys.
Anything you want to add in Portuguese?
Valeu pessoal, sem vocês não ia estar tão legal, né? Valeu! Parabéns pro meu irmão Felipe também. Eu tô muito, muito, muito grata por ficar aqui contigo, aqui no pódio.
Parabéns. Tatiana Weston-Webb, your champion. And now sitting #2 in the world. And now I'd like to start with the men's final. These two guys have put on a show for us so many times, especially in finals, in Rio, at lowers. This was a classic one on paper that we couldn't wait to get started. I'd like to introduce your runner-up in the main event, Jordy Smith. Jordy Smith featuring in his first final of the season, and also his first final appearance here at Margaret River main break, putting himself in a great position now in the final 5, real early in the season here at stop number 4. Jordy, you had some wild heats, my friend, close ones, going back to Julian's, the one where he shook his hand and got the left at the very end. Things just were so incredibly tight, and I feel like you were able to do your best powerful surfing on finals day. How good did that feel?
Yeah, I had some close calls for sure. Kind of felt like I only got going in the semifinals, to be honest, but better late than never. And yeah, obviously I came up against pretty informed Felipe, you know. Seemed like you really picked the right waves, and yeah, just thanks again to everybody for having us. It's been awesome, and yeah, I can't wait to get to the next event.
I know you've always loved this place, Jordy, but do you feel like you cracked a code here at Margaret River main break?
I've had some pretty good results in the past. I've just come up against some really good surfers, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about the past too much. I just kind of think about the mission ahead, and yeah, this year I'm just really happy to make it to the final. I think I've had a bunch of quarters before, but yeah, happy to go a couple better.
Congrats on the runner-up, my friend.
Thanks.
Jordy Smith, runner-up for the first time in his career at Margaret River. And that leaves one man, a guy who surfs faster than anyone on tour, big carb, super powerful here on finals day. Let's hear it for your champion of the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro, presented by Corona, Felipe Toledo. Felipe Toledo coming through with a massive win, the first of his career at this event here in the West. And John Mogridge giving over the beautiful indigenous artifact. It's one of the best trophies that we have on tour. Felipe, we have some catching up to do. Such an amazing performance. I think we all can agree, we love when you have those heats together with Jordy Smith, especially in major finals. You've surfed at different events around the world together, from Brazil to lowers, but your first for both of you here at Margaret River main break. It looked like you really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, thank you. It was different, you know. It's an event that I always had some pretty good results, but I never believed in myself that I could win. And today I just woke up feeling great, and talked to my family. It's Cola's birthday today. And I promised him I would bring back the trophy to him. And, you know, if you promise, you gotta make it. So, yeah, I just feel blessed, man. I feel blessed. I feel happy. I gotta thank, you know, all the boys that have been hanging out with me. Patterson, Bruno, Miggy, David, and I mean, all the Brazilians. It's been so fun. And man, it just feels great to be free, right? It's amazing to have everyone watching and cheering and all that good energy. It feels really good.
Oh, what a good dad. Happy birthday, Koa. That's amazing. Bringing home the trophy. But one thing we did notice, I think we had a lot of fun looking at that that serious stare you had on the lineup the other day, but then you quickly went into laughter in the Red Bull Athlete Zone. That crew was laughing the whole time that you just mentioned. You seem really light and maybe pressure-free this year. Is that a fair statement to make?
Yes. The last few years it's been really tricky and hard for me, putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I've been trying to keep it light and fun, and just hanging with all the boys. It's been amazing, you know, a lot of amazing moments, and I guess that helped me a lot to go out there in the final. There was moments that I almost lost control, you know, of my feelings, and I was just like, okay, no, keep it together, let's go, and it worked really well. So yeah, it's you know, I just feel blessed.
Well, we've had different winners at every stop. The world champs took the first 3. Now you getting in there, moving into the top 3, heading into Rottnest. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels great. That's all I needed to be on the top 5, top 3, and I feel more confident to go to Rottnest Island now and put in a good performance again, and get a good result and keep myself on the top 3.
Well, with a Brazilian sweep, I got to let you send it off in Portuguese.
Let's go. Valeu, galera. Tamo junto. Muito obrigado. É isso, pô. Pô, sem vocês aqui, né, não seria igual. A vibe não tem igual. A gente ama a energia que vocês trazem, e seja em qualquer lugar do mundo. E essa aqui fica pra nós. Valeu!
Felipe Toledo, your champion of the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro, presented by Corona, along with Tatiana Weston Webb. Speaking of Coronas, it's that time. Go ahead and get them. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for having us. We'll wrap it up on the post show with Ronnie Blakey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. Fantastic job. And two very deserving winners there. And Felipe Toledo, I love that. Made the promise to his son, Koa, who's celebrating a birthday today, to bring the trophy home. I mean, my parents were great, very generous, but they never brought championship tour trophies home for you to play with. So here's one lucky kid. And the way that Felipe's reconnected, Bugs, with that winning form, he could be very dangerous at the next stop up at Rottnest.
Well, you know, he's been in the shadow of Italo Ferreira and Gabriel Medina. And I mean, a couple of years ago, it was Felipe Toledo was the next big thing out of Brazil after Adriano de Souza. And he's been in their shadow. You know, now it's a reconnect with those guys at that top three. The Brazilian Storm, 1, 2, 3, wow.
Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, back in that winning feeling for Felipe Toledo, and this is where he starts to get dangerous. He's sort of securing his position there in the final five, and well, put a little extra pressure on the promise to baby boy there, so he had to deliver, and he did in a big way. So it's well, if he makes some promises up at Rottnest Island, look out.
Yeah, for sure. And I really think Tatiana Weston Webb, you know, full props to her, just her commitment. I think through the event, to those big end sections, she never shied away from it, and she really held on for some important finishes, Rich, in that final.
Oh, she so did, and that could be seen as one of the differences, is the way she finished her waves. And it didn't matter whether it was a 2-foot end section or a 10-foot end section. She just attacked it and went at it, and more often than not, she rode out of it. And as we said, through the whole entirety of the event, that end section was a gnarly one. And Margaret River is a riddle. It's hard to work out. And these two up there, they did the best at it.
I guess too, Bugs, thinking about that next location is it's going to kind of work in the favour of people who carried form and some momentum through this contest, because it's still that same kind of raw, rugged coastline. The wave has some similar characteristics and could be like what we saw here on finals day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the left at Stricos on Rottnest Island is a bit like Margaret's, but it's like the right at Margaret's. You know, it's standing up. It's not a burger. It's a super high performance wave. But to your point, this has been a long leg. It's a 4-event back-to-back leg, and having the confidence now and having that roll on now is a lot better than having the wind taken out of your sails.
Most definitely. Well, let's check out the Boost Mobile wave of the day. It goes to none other than Felipe Toledo, saving his best till last, Rich.
Oh, it was just amazing. You could feel that Toledo just wound up the volume on this thing, and just watch this rail carve. Locks it in, extends it, gets the full wrap, and then just goes at it again, stabs it, just annihilates that section, and gets to the final finish here. Another little foam hit, and then bang, just the redirection and how fast he does it is quite remarkable. But the other thing, just the speed between his turns. No one does it any better.
Yeah, really love that. Just beautifully constructed rides. The variation is always so impressive, Felipe Toledo. I dare say we're going to see more of those highlights as we dive into the top 5. It's all coming after the break. Ace, you've been doing a bit of work with We Are One Ocean. Tell us a bit more about that movement.
We Are One Ocean is about us as an ocean-loving community stepping up and really acting as custodians. We know from the science that that would have a huge impact on the health of our ocean, and the health of the earth and of us as earthlings greatly depends on the health of the ocean. So we need to ensure that the ocean is given the best chance to thrive, not just to survive.
And you can go to worldsurfleague.com, check out that panel discussion. Myself, Adrian Buchan, we had Kat Dorsey, a marine biologist on the panel, Simon Bradshaw, who is a researcher for the Climate Council. He was involved in that talk as well as Belinda Baggs from Surfers for Climate. It was a great conversation. I learned a lot personally. We know that we're in the midst of a climate emergency, so yeah, check out that panel discussion. But we've got a lot to wrap up and unpack from a big finals day here. Our winners have been crowned, the trophies have been handed out, but we're not done just yet, Bugs.
No, we've got some good stuff to happen. Dimity's got her special roll-up happening soon.
Mate, we're going to dive into the top 5 and see the big highlight moments from what was a spectacular final day for the event. Really clean conditions when we rocked up this morning, Rich, and we kind of knew we were going to be in for something special because this lineup has been unmanageable at times, but today it was a little bit more comfortable for the competitors.
Yeah, it definitely was. When we arrived this morning, there was groomed offshore conditions. And, well, it was just on, you know, in that very rippable range. But earlier on in the event, geez, we saw some unbelievable wipeouts and some big waves come through the event up around the sort of 20, maybe even 20-plus foot faces. Oh, and that was Jadson Andre just getting absolutely poleaxed on that thing. And, well, have a look at this. Reef Hazelwood up and under. It was just a spectacle to watch. You
just forget how big it was, Bugs, and some of those water angles I think give you a true perspective of just how big some of those rides were.
Oh, this was a big day at Margaret River. You know, it was 15 feet and it was hard offshore wind, and you know, when you saw the ocean, it was relentless. Corduroy, big waves coming all day.
At number 4, John Florence, 10-point ride early in the contest, had that unbeatable form running, Rich, but sadly for him, an injury and out of the contest.
Yeah, well, this ride here, possibly the longest barrel ride ever seen at Margaret River main break, but just have a look at what this guy was doing on the rail and on the face of these big open ocean swells. He was just, well, he was basically unmatched until the point where he injured his knee and had to withdraw out of the event there. But this is the sort of surfing that we're used to seeing from John Florence. And up to this point, this was the wave where it all happened. And just compressing on that knee of his, the other one, not the one that he injured a couple of years ago. And, well, heading home right now to get things fixed up.
Yeah, really focused on the Olympics and being right for that. And we wish him all the best. WA's been holding out for a hero. Well, they found one in Bronte McCauley. An amazing run through the contest, getting all the way to the semi-finals, equals her best result. But Bronte, you know, she's now getting the results, Bugs, that kind of she deserves for that huge lift in her performance.
Well, Caroline Mark's got a much vaunted backhand attack, and Bronte McCauley really stood up on this particular day and right through the tournament. You know, she's right there now.
Yeah, really solid, Rich. I just love the way she aims up on the backhand, off the bottom. Just an incredible approach to these tricky sections.
Yeah, and she was really the one who really pushed Tatiana in terms of the backhand performance on these right-handers. And as you said, Bugs, just has that ability to throw it right up vertical, nice and high in the lip, and those fast pivoting turns.
At number 2, Felipe Toledo, again just blowing minds on the finals day in the Championship Tour event. This guy can find another gear. Scary for the rest of the field as we move through the schedule.
Oh, he's coming on right now at the right time of this Australian leg. He said, bring on Rottnest, and he looks to be in absolutely scintillating form.
Love these big calves, Rich. We were talking about it, just the ability to explode out of these turns and kind of get you up in your seat when you're sort of slumbering away. Just he's a next level talent.
Oh, it's unbelievable. If John has the length of rail, Philippe has the sort of speed and aggression in his turns, and he's able to mix it together. It's a pretty special formula.
celebrating in style. Should also give some credit to the chariots that carried our winners all the way up those stairs. But Tatiana Weston-Webb deserves this #1 position. And we mentioned it, she's had so many runner-ups in championship tour events, had only had the one victory, but earns this second win with some unbelievable serving against some very established names.
Well, she opened up with that 8.5 in the final, and she did keep her best all finals day as well. And this particular mover here, you know, she looks for a slightly softer part of this really gnarly section, but then the convergence of the white waters, she completely disappears. She's blind. She's going over the shallow reef, and she had to pull that off and come out of that because Steph Gilmore got a big score late in the final, and this was an amazing win for Tatiana. Finally, a big breakthrough in Australia.
Yeah, and a really solid move up the leaderboard as we take a look now. Carissa Moore still out in front based on her just absolute dominance through these first 4 contests. A couple of finals appearances and a couple of semis. Has her well situated at the top, but Tatiana moves into second position. And this is a final 5 that's going to be hard to shift up, Rich.
Yeah, you get the feeling that these guys are really trying to put the footings in here and solidify their place. It's a good-looking top 5 there. If we cut it off right now and went to the finals at lowers, we'd be in for one heck of a competition.
What a jump from Felipe Toledo, though, Bugs. 8th position coming into this contest, now up in the 3rd spot. John Florence maintains his position in the final 5, even though he withdrew injured. Still a quarter-final finish, so he's still well and truly up there. Geordie Smith gets himself in the 5th spot. And that is, you know, all our world champions competing at the moment, bar Adriano de Souza in that final 5, looking pretty good. How much room is there for anyone else?
Well, I mean, Kanoa Igarashi, I mean, you know, he made that big mistake with the interference call. That knocked him out of the 5. I think he's a danger still. I think Griffin Colapinto is also a big danger of upsetting. There's a little bit of a gap after Geordie right now. But let's see after Rottnest. I'll keep that 4th and 5th slot bit it's still open.
It's going to be fun to watch. Another thing that's been great entertainment for us through this Australian league so far has been the work of Dimity Stoyle behind the scenes. Let's have a look at a highlights from a memorable event here in the West.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Vai, Brasil.
How's your Portuguese?
Bom dia.
There you go.
Sethy, huge heat today. You ready? You pumped?
Mate, but we're out there to have fun.
Look, you look like a boxer right now. You ready?
Boys, are you still grilling him over his winning performance?
Yeah, that's how we work. Put on the throat, just stuck him. We want more.
But he won the heat.
Oh, that's not good enough.
What have we learnt from the boys this morning?
Rule number 1. Look, it's clean as a whistle. Hey!
I'm not the top surfer.
What?
Top shooter.
Hey, no swearing on the BTS videos.
You're really hard to find.
Am I?
You've been hiding.
I try to.
How was that heat?
It was pretty fun, actually.
Really?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
We love that big juice.
Yeah, I like that.
Did you get a BTS of my BTS?
Is it pretty sick talking to John Florence, like behind the scenes? Like, did you have to book in, like, to get that interview?
Gold from Dimity, and more to come when we head over to the Rip Curl Rottnest search event presented by Corona. Can't wait to get that underway. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, but she's done a great job just disarming our competitors, Rich.
So good. I love the way she just gets that openness, gets the guard down. You know, the steely eyes, they drop, and they have a bit of fun with Dimity, which is great.
It's absolutely awesome. Another thing that we're looking forward to, as well as more Dimity, is the next event on the schedule. It's just around the corner. We are all getting so ramped up about the Rip Curl Rottnest search event presented by Corona. Here is who's in and who's out And there's some big stories unfolding here. We know that Chloe Andino and John Florence are out injured. Kelly Slater still not back. Adrian Buchan injured himself in this contest. He's withdrawn from the event. And that means we have some replacements, and have a look at who's going to be entering the mix here. Mikey Wright gets another call up. Liam O'Brien, this is a kid that we've seen go on to some big finishes at the qualifying series level. Stu Kennedy. And the big dog's been pulled out of retirement here on the West Coast. Taj Burrow answering the call to surf in a championship tour event. Can't wait to see that, as well as some very exciting wildcards and local boys in Kale Walsh, Jacob Wilcox, but some highlight vision of TV, multiple championship tour wins, and much like Mick Fanning at Narrabeen Bugs, he brings a real X factor to this contest.
Well, he did, and Taj came the other day. He sat in with you guys, and here he was around the contest. He was clearly having a ball. He loved it. He saw Mick at Narrabeen. He went, you know what? Yeah, I will take it up.
Yeah, I remember doing the interview with Taj when he announced his retirement. He said, I won't be the guy that puts the jersey on, but I think it's hard for these guys, Rich. You would know, being a former championship tour competitor yourself, you know, there is an opportunity to just rekindle that little flame, that fire. Are you going to take it?
It's sometimes nice getting it's a little stroke of the ego, getting the call up to do it, and I think it's great that Taj is actually going to dust off a couple of the boards. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say dust off. He's still actively surfing almost every single day, and surfing at a level that warrants a position in a CT event. And I think he could actually push a few of these fellas. This is really interesting. All these replacements coming in, all very capable of upsetting some big names. So it's going to make the Rottnest Island event even more compelling.
Well, something interesting to note that Adrian Buchan probably had the most competitive experience at Strickland Bay. He won 2 junior events there prior to graduating to the championship tour. And then when you took him out of the mix, it's probably Julian Wilson who did a trip there when he was about 14 years of age and did some free surfing. But bringing Taj into the mix brings a whole new level of experience. I surfed Strickland Bay with Taj. He knows the place. He was doing airs. This is after his retirement, so he is a very capable wildcard or replacement surfer, I should say.
Oh, Taj is going to be fantastic for the event, but you know, then you got the locals like Jacob Wilcox and Carl Walsh. They know that break. It's a pretty tricky break, but it's a high performance wave.
Yeah, give us a bit of a rundown of the location, Bugs. Well,
it's just it's an island off Perth. That's why Perth doesn't get any surf. It's blocked by Rottnest Island, but it's a classic location. I mean, I haven't been there since, you know, the Quokkas ran wild. You know, when I went last time, it was a caravan park. It was just a caravan park and a pub. I believe it's upgraded a bit, but the coastline is raw, and it's it's Stricko's. It's basically a really good high performance left. There is a right off it on a certain swell direction.
We'll find the pub. It's still there. Rich, your thoughts on going to a venue? The search is back on, going to a venue where no one really has too much of an edge when you think about the history of championship tour events.
Yeah, I like it because there's no favourites, really. It's going to be an open slather, an open field in terms of what they're all going to be able to bring. They need to adjust. They need to figure out the wave. They're all going to hightail it up there in the next day or two, and we'll see who can figure it out. But as Bug said, it's definitely got that high performance element. I think we'll see some airs come into play.
Oh, I hope so. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure calling this event with you. Look forward to seeing you again up at Rottnest. For everyone else, stay tuned to WorldSurfLeague.com. Have a look at those ratings. They're getting very interesting. And we'll see you on the 16th up there at the Rip Curl Rottnest Search, presented by Corona.
It is a chilly morning here at Margaret River, anticipating a potential finals day.
Geordie pulling in here, Joe.
Barrel ride for Smith. Sets that rail, big roundhouse cutback as he's into the semifinals.
Oh, McGilvray parks it and then gets spat out.
As we see, Seth on a bomb set, and he's going to go down.
I don't think Philippe has really hit his straps in this event so far, and you know it's just around the corner. It's going to happen.
Drives up into the section, big backhand float.
An all goofy foot matchup here in the first semifinal with Bronte McCauley and Tatiana Weston Webb. Hard off the bottom, airdrops. That was such a radical attempt.
At the moment, it is a full-blown power carve-off.
Yeah, you just got to risk it for the biscuit.
So we've got the women's final. Tatiana Weston Webb taking on Stephanie Gilmore.
Tatiana Weston Webb is your Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro champion.
On the men's side now, the Boost Mobile Margaret River Pro champion, Felipe Toledo.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.